With just weeks left in the November 2024 election, Gavin Newsom signs into law a bill to restrict your free speech rights. He wants to silence you when you criticize politicians and make fun of them. Isn't that as old as the democracy? Coming up, I'll tell you what law Newsom just signed, how it's now being challenged in court, and I'll share with you an example of what he wants to ban. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, and Gavin Newsom certainly has thin skin. He doesn't like to be criticized, and he certainly doesn't like you speaking out in elections. This week, Gavin Newsom signed a number of unconstitutional, illegal bills into law, although this guy has got a whole track record of signing unconstitutional, illegal bills into law. The latest relate to your First Amendment rights to political speech. Gavin Newsom says that in the age of artificial intelligence, people are putting out videos that mock politicians using the politician's own voice. Oh, the horror. And of course, he knows that he is being targeted and many of his liberal friends. Now, he says that he's trying to protect democracy. But how do you protect democracy by threatening the First Amendment rights of free speech of the citizens? You can't. It's not American. It's thuggery. It's fundamentally unfair and unconstitutional. So let me share with you a bill, and then I'm going to share with you a funny parody that pokes fun at Gavin Newsom. You're going to love it. It's from the Babylon Bee. Creator of Kamala Harris parody video sues California over deep fake election ban. Now, all of this started when a conservative, and we covered this on this show previously, put out in August a video that uses artificial intelligence to have Kamala Harris narrating basically what many conservatives have criticized her for, being supportive of Biden inflation, being the border czar and failing at that, outwardly not answering questions, not having policy proposals, lying to the American people, all of these things. So the deep fake or artificial intelligence voice of Kamala Harris had her narrating an ad admitting that, yeah, the border's in crisis. Yeah, there's massive inflation. But I'm doubling down on the policies anyway. And it used actual clips to make the point of the arguments, the criticism. Nobody in their right mind thinks, oh, this is real. It's like Saturday Night Live, only this version is funny. People know it is poking fun at our elected officials. And poking fun at our elected officials is as old as the Republic. And it's certainly political speech. And government should never be able to be the purveyor or arbiter of what is funny or not funny, what is free speech or not. Period. End of story. Full stop. So the guy who created the Kamala Harris parody video posted it. Elon Musk retweeted it. That got the attention of Newsom. Newsom then threatened, we need to put people like this in jail who put these videos out. I know, threatened criminal action against someone putting out political speech and satire. So that brings you up to speed. Newsom signs these laws that on the face of them are completely unconstitutional. And the creator of the video, Chris Coles, who goes by the name Mr. Reagan on X or Twitter, basically said he is suing Newsom. He's asking a federal court to issue an immediate emergency injunction, since we are in the middle of an election, saying that the laws signed by Newsom going after people who put out these parody videos on the internet are unconstitutional with violations of both the First and the 14th Amendment. This is an open shut case that any first-year law student would agree with Mr. Coles on. The laws that Newsom has signed One is Defending Democracy from Deep Fake Deception Act. Bitch, please. I just have to stop. You got the Democrats, you got the liberal media who are literally lying every day with untruthful so-called pseudo journalism. And now people come out with actual funny, creative truth, or at the very least, funny, creative ways of arguing their point of view politically. And Newsom wants to ban it because he is, and not just ban it, he wants to bully and intimidate people into silence. That's what these laws are all about. He knows that they're not going to be upheld in court. But this guy, he's a tyrant. He doesn't care. He will break our First Amendment, 14th Amendment rights. He will trample on the Constitution, knowing it's going to take us 2 years to fight him in court and finally get a win. But it doesn't matter. He shut us up during the election. He was able to manipulate an election. You want to defend the democracy? Look in the damn mirror, you POS. And this guy has no morals, no credibility. And he is absolutely doing damage to our republic. And no one on the left wants to call him out, and certainly not the media. We will hear. Anyway, his law says that it requires online platforms to remove or label deceptive, digitally altered media. He goes after the companies themselves. Then he goes after the individuals who also post the ads for sanctions and punishment and criminal and civil liabilities. So those laws are now being challenged in court. Now, moments after Newsom issued his press release saying he was doing this, leave it to the Babylon Bee to post satire content, a parody, taking Gavin Newsom's voice, a similar voice in his image, and having him narrate an ad purportedly from Gavin Newsom. Again, in the spirit of Saturday Night Live, this is the same thing that they do. No one ever attacks Saturday Night Live because Saturday Night Live is always liberal in their criticism. They're liberal in their criticism of conservatives. Let's make sure everyone knows that. So Babylon Bee says, the Babylon Bee has obtained this exclusive, official, 100% real Gavin Newsom election ad. I got to share it. It is worth the watch because you're going to be dying in stitches.
Hi, I'm Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. This is a message for the people of America, given in my authentically recorded, non-AI voice. Thanks to my leadership over the last several years, California has become a world leader in extremist, left-wing governance. My policies were so effective that almost 1 million people are now fleeing the state every year. We even ran out of U-Hauls. During the COVID pandemic, I locked everyone in their homes and shut down businesses for months. Not the French Laundry, though. That's my favorite restaurant. Last year, I cleaned up the dangerous, messy streets of San Francisco, because Chinese Communist President Xi was coming, and I really wanted to impress him. He's my boss, after all. This year, I signed legislation that allows me to take custody of your kid if you refuse to give him artificial hormones and chop off his genitals. Because if you don't do that, you're a bigot, and bigots shouldn't be allowed to have kids. I've also led the way in green energy by banning all cars that don't run on electricity. Then I banned almost all the electricity. This is smart leadership. On my watch, the cost of living and homelessness have skyrocketed. Schools are failing. Drug dealers and human traffickers are pouring across the border. And poop has covered the sidewalks of San Francisco. This is the positive, joyful vision we offer as Democrats. That's why I'm enthusiastically endorsing Kamala Harris for president in 2024. She'll do to the country everything I did in California. Anyway, I'm California Governor Gavin Newsom, and I approve this 100% real message.
Yeah. It's hilarious. This guy deserves to be mocked. He's a complete fool. And he is willing to just trample over our constitutional rights to manipulate the outcome of an election. Even though he already has the money in the media in this state, 100% on his side, he doesn't want a movement opposing him. He wants to bully you and silence you in the last few weeks of this election. Do not let him do that. I'm sure I'll be sued by the state or sanctioned by the state because I shared Babylon Bee on my show. Bring it on. Bring it on. Look, at Reform California, we're fighting insanity like this. The best way we can is to punish politicians. The only language they speak, by the way, is not the email that you send them, the letter that you send them, the call that you make, or even if you show up at one of their phony baloney predetermined hearings. It's you voting them and their colleagues out of office. Now, we can't vote them all out of office, although we can dream. We can, however, vote many of them out of office. And that's why our voter guide is so key. We have target races on our voter guide, and we're urging you to get the plain English voter guide for all of the ballot propositions. Go online to reformcalifornia.org. That's reformcalifornia.org, and get the electronic voter guide for your area. Click under voter help and voter guide. You can also get the voter guides directly at electionguidecalifornia.org, electionguidecalifornia.org. While you're on reformcalifornia.org, please chip in a contribution. We do not have the deep pockets of Gavin Newsom and the Democrats. We don't have liberal media on our side. We need your help. Every dollar that you contribute lets us fight in California to restore sanity and to do the good work that needs to be done. No one else is doing it, not the Republican Party of California. They're surrendering. We, as a conservative movement, need to work together as grassroots activists to tip the scales, and we can do that. So chip in a contribution at reformcalifornia.org. Until next time, exercise your First Amendment rights, and yes, you can mock politicians. Mock away. They deserve it. Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and smash that notification button so you can stay up to date on all the developments in California news and politics. Also, please visit the website, reformcalifornia.org, for ongoing news coverage and to join one of our campaigns in the fight to take back our state. If you can, please sign up as a volunteer or chip in a contribution. This episode of Reform California with Carl DeMaio, paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly 2024.